Alright, so here's my water fountain that I was saying I was going to upload to the channel, so I am. My pump failed, so it's already out and threw it away. It just seized up. And what I think happened is because you keep filling it full of water and the water keeps evaporating, all the calcium starts building up in here, and I think the pump, it just ate up the pump. This is my manifold that took water output from the pump, went in here, flowed through here, and this was just a garden spigot faucet for the outside the house. And my plan was you could close it down and you could regulate the pressure coming out of the pump, because my old pump, it was just a turn it on and it just pumped whatever it pumped, and I wasn't sure, having, you know, the 3 hoses in there and my drain, if it was going to match and sync up, or if it was just going to overflow or drain out. So I figured I had a little bit of adjustability with this. And all this does is, say, water goes in here, comes through my little jankety regulator, and comes into my PVC caps. So this is just like, I think, a 3-inch end cap, and a 3-inch male, and then the threaded to plug it all off. And I pulled it apart to see if there's calcium in it, but you just push it all together and it turns the 1 input to 3 outputs. If I were to do it again, I would just go to Home Depot or whatever hardware store, and they make aluminum 3-way splitters for the air tools. It's like $6. It threads onto the end of the hose, and these thread into it, because these are technically, I think, airlines or water. I don't know what they are, but they'll thread in, and it fits in the palm of your hand. You don't have the regulator, but this is end up running wide open anyways, and I just kept stepping that hole up in the center larger and larger until it balanced out, and I just did it really slowly so I wouldn't overshoot it and have it start draining out on me. So I got the 3 hoses ran through my lid, and the water drains through that center hole. With that tube hanging, and it's so noisy water falling that far to the bucket, what I ended up doing is I took drinking straws, packing them together and hot gluing them, and I don't know exactly what's causing it. I'm assuming the surface tension of the water grabbing all the surface area of the inside of the straws. It slows the water down and it won't allow it to free fall, but it still flows fast enough that it doesn't hinder the drainage of the tank. So that stuff's in there, and the super glue or hot glue broke on it, but then this end stabs through the top of the lid and pretty much sits into just an inch into the water, and it pretty much completely deads the noise of the water falling. So all you hear is the air sucking vortex, because this is a nightstand for me. It ran next to my bed for kind of like a white noise rain generator thing. Since it burns about 3 gallons of water a month, or just not burns, but evaporates out, I made the lid better because it was just an open top, and that was a bad design. But I made this top, and at the same time, since it's hidden and this face is pressed against my wall right there, I can't see how much water's in the reservoir. So when it's low, I have to slide the entire unit out and pour water in at the top while I'm keeping an eye on the bottom so I don't overflow it, because I don't shut it off when I'm filling. So what I did, and I immediately regretted doing it because I did it cheaply, hastily. I didn't do a good job at it. I should have done better. But got a fitting right there, a little brass nipple fitting, drilled at the very bottom of the bucket. So got it all siliconed in there, running a 3/8 hose through the wall. And then this is why I don't like it. I did it lazy. So it comes out, snakes back in. I thought I could do it better than what it was, and once I started getting into it, I was too far into it to back out. But anyways, so you take this, and there's a hole up there at the top that I drilled, and I have it super glued in there, so the line's standing up. As long as it's not sealed, water will flow into it, and it'll give you the height of the water in the bucket just because it wants to even out. So I could put this on the wall. I could fill it without having to slide it out anymore, because I could just watch that water fill up in the bucket from the front side. And I put a little Sharpie mark on it to know where the lower level was and where my upper level was. And when the water in the bucket gets low, I don't know if it's because of the water pressure on the pump or, you know, like head pressure or whatever, but when the water is low in the tank, it won't fill up the upper tank as much. So you'll know it's low before it's not pulling air. It's still fully submerged with, you know, under 3 inches of water, but it'll start drifting down. And as soon as you fill up the bucket again to its brim, the water pressure will come up and start sitting right next to the brim and just hang there. So that's was usually my clock. I never let it suck in air and start cavitating, because I could always tell it was getting low, just because it'd be down here eventually after slowly losing pressure. And fill it back up and go another month without having to think about it. But yeah, so that's my design. I'll upload another video once I decide what water pump I'm going to go with and what flow rate, because I still got to take mine apart and see if I can match it. I would like to not have to buy more crap for it, but it is unlikely I'm going to find the exact flow rate pump on it, because it's badly corroded, and I didn't write it down. I was just making this on a weekend board. Okay, well, I'll try to get another one up done next week.